It's the big question that everyone wants to know. What does the housing market have in store for us in 2022?
After an even wilder, more competitive, higher appreciating year in 2021, this year can't possibly top it, can it?
Are we going to see a housing crash like some people are predicting?
Will we see the foreclosure crisis people said would happen last year?
In today's video, we're going to dive into all of this and more.
For those who think that a housing crash is imminent, you definitely want to watch this, as we're going to discuss why that's not going to happen. Why? It's a simple law of supply and demand, and we'll explain more shortly.
We'll be taking a look at what we see happening in the early part of the year, as well as the second half of 2022.
Stay with us until the end, where we give our 3 key 2022 housing market predictions.
Because there's one thing we know, life and the housing market can change quickly.
For a crash to happen, there has to be a massive increase in inventory.
In the first 2 quarters of the new year, we do see an increase in housing inventory. It happens every year, as people get their homes ready for the late winter and spring markets.
As a result, supply goes up. But if recent history is any indication, we won't see a huge jump in homes for sale this year.
At the same time, buyer activity will increase. And in the case of the Denver area, we see big demand. Why? Colorado and the Denver area. It continues to benefit from workers and families who can work remotely from home and live where they want.
We anticipate this demand will continue as we travel throughout 2022. Keep in mind that according to the National Association of Realtors, the United States is underbuilt by at least 5 million housing units.
What about the talk of a foreclosure crisis? That doesn't appear to be happening anytime soon. Many of the homeowners who worked with their banks to stay in their homes throughout the process of forbearance have exited forbearance and were successful in staying in their homes.
Banks don't want to take on bad debt like they did in the downturn of 2007 and 2009. Plus, the equity most homeowners currently have means if they were forced to sell, they wouldn't be forced into a short sale or a foreclosure.
Interest rates have been and will continue to be a big topic of conversation. With an anticipated hot spring market, it's possible interest rates won't have a significant impact on buyer demand in the first half of 2022.
However, should rates continue to increase in the third and fourth quarter, we may begin to see buyer demand fall as buyers become wary of higher payments, while others are pushed out of the market altogether.
In some ways, this could make it easier to be a buyer toward the second half of 2022, as some buyers will drop out of the market.
So if you're a buyer in 2022, don't get discouraged in the first half of the year, as there may be better opportunities and less demand for you from July through December.
Join us as we peer into the future to bring you what we believe will happen by the end of 2022.
Housing appreciation will be in the range of 12 to 14% in the Denver metro area.
This projection is higher than we predicted in 2021. How did we come to this range? Crystal ball or research? To be honest, it's a little bit of both. We also have wealth of knowledge from working in this market on a daily basis for so many years.
One big reason for our prediction: supply versus demand. The supply will continue to remain low and the demand high. Let's be honest, the Denver area is a very desirable destination. It's something we've covered in several of our other videos as well.
300 days of sunshine, endless outdoor recreation opportunities, excellent employment options, and more. People want to live here and are moving here from around the country to experience and live the Colorado lifestyle.
In the end, home price appreciation will remain very strong, but likely a little off pace from last year, with the main reason being our next big predictions of 2022.
Mortgage interest rates will end the year around 4%.
This may sound scary, but wait, we promise it's not the end of the world.
In the first few weeks of 2022, we've already seen rates jump to the high 3% range. Truthfully, we saw this coming, but not until later this year.
While the Fed rate will increase multiple times in 2022, the belief was mortgage interest rates will follow at some point, but not immediately. In reality, interest rates have jumped early here in the year, and it's being attributed in part as a reaction to the inflation that we've all seen and experienced over the past year.
Much of this has to do with the economy. If there is positive economic data, rates will increase more. If there is negative economic data, rates will decrease.
You can see on this chart here, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MBA, and the National Association of Realtors predict rates will settle somewhere between 3.4% and 4% by the end of 2022.
We've consulted with several mortgage lenders who agree that we'll end 2022 with interest rates being at 4% or at least very close to it. And even if rates increase to 4%, this is still incredibly low historically speaking. For those who were around in the early 1980s, interest rates topped out around 18%.
Housing inventory will continue to remain low.
Remember what we said earlier in the video? There must be a massive increase in inventory for a housing crash to be possible.
The Denver metro area began 2022 with about 1,500 active resale homes for sale, for a metro area of nearly 3 million people. For perspective, a normal market or balanced market is about 12,500 homes for sale.
The impact of new construction is very real. Builders are not building at a pace to keep up with the demand. Big factors include supply chain, issues for supplies, and a lack of skilled labor to build these homes.
On top of that, we're seeing more people staying in their homes longer. As of 2021, homeowners are staying in their homes an average of 10.5 years. This is an increase of nearly 4 years since 2008.
And these people are staying put. They're taking on remodeling projects, they're finishing basements, and other improvements to enhance their existing homes.
We know this is a lot to take in and consider when looking ahead at the 2022 housing market.
We also know this is going to be another strong seller's market. At the same time, don't be alarmed if you're a home buyer this year.
We have proven resources and strategies to help you be more competitive out there. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to our 2022 housing market predictions.
Don't forget to subscribe and check out more of our awesome videos.